Yeah, it's a story of my life, ladies and gentlemen. No one here but us chickens, me, Henry Rollins, and
Heidi May.
we'll fade the chickens out.
I like the chickens.
Well, let's next time let's have live chickens in here instead of these two chickens. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in yet again to this podcast. We are thrilled at your letters and your excitement and your kindness towards this. I'm not all that happy with how much you are all sticking up for Heidi May. I think you should really be more on my side of things. That's just my opinion, but you will do what you will.
I'm just trying to recover from South by Southwest.
How many days do you need, woman?
Henry, traveling with you and you making fun of me on 2 plane rides?
I didn't make fun of you.
Henry.
Heidi, I just pointed out what was happening. Let's see. Heidi May has like a germ thing. Because they're out there. She takes the upper part of her vintage denim jacket that was worn by some guy in 1938. And she takes the collar and she wraps it around the lower part of her face. Like that's going to protect her. And all you can see are these 2 huge eyes that kind of peek out from over the collar of the denim jacket. And she has this look on her face like, what, you're not doing it too? I mean, you look utterly ridiculous.
Thank you. I don't care. I don't want to get sick.
And she drinks a liter of water every 20 minutes.
It's healthy. You're going to get deep vein thrombosis because you don't drink any water.
Heidi, I'm a deep person, so if I get vein thrombosis, it will be deep.
No.
Deep thinker,
I don't want
deep
you
listener.
I don't want you to get sick.
Why not? It'll be cute when I'm all like, I can't do nothing. And then you have to like feed me, change me, push me around.
Know.
You know, and
I think my fate is I will be changing your diapers one day.
You know why?
That's going to happen.
You know why?
Why?
Here it is. I have my 2 hands curled. The fingers are curled. It's the unbreakable bond. Oh, don't worry. It's breakable, says Heidi May. No, it's not, buddy. You and me for life.
Oh, wow.
It's your curse. Get used to it. Rollins forever. So today's show is brought to you by the Mojave app. Mojave app, Mojaveeapp, the better way to bookmark. I am using it right now. It's free to join. You go to mojaveapp.com and you join. It takes about 60 seconds or less. And all of a sudden, you turn your server into a huge front page for every single website you ever use. You can arrange them any way you want. Super handy. I literally use it every day. And the best part of it, it's free.
And I would like to thank Lisa at Visionary Concepts for handling Henry's Facebook, e-commerce, and this podcast. She gets this link out there for everybody to hear, and she's the best.
Can we talk about how you handled...
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Can we talk about how you handled my face today?
Sure.
Lisa handles our Facebook, but you actually, you handled my face, you handled my neck, you strangled me, and you slugged me.
Well, you told me to slug you.
No, you slugged me once. You said, that was fun. I said, go ahead, do it again. Work out, sister. Get it out. But we did photos today for iTunes. And Heidi had this idea, I'll strangle you. And of course, four photo sessions. 4.
Henry, it took 10 minutes total with my iPhone.
Henry, we have to get up and do it again. Like, why? You know you're going to cave in, so you might as well do it, which is true. And so we did it again.
I'm not very photogenic.
Heidi.
I'm not photogenic.
Heidi, in every photo, you looked fantastic.
No.
I had big bloated
I'm a
face.
mutant. I'm a little bit of a mutant, but it's cool. I don't care.
Your eyes are 2/3 of your head. that is true. And I would like to screw your neck into a light socket and use you as a light bulb.
Well, I work on my insides, Henry. Okay, so today, I think we should talk about The Chase.
The movie,
The movie, The Chase, that Henry Rollins was in as a young man.
Here's a few things about that film that you might not know. First off, Shot in, 1993, I think, released in 1994 or thereabouts. Over the years, 20 some years, it has actually developed a microscopic, but nonetheless, a bit of a cult following. People like the film. Like when HBO puts it on, I get a bunch of mail. They're like, man, I can't believe I've seen that film a few times. It's way better than I remember it. So people don't hate that film. And when you look at some of the overhead shots of Charlie Sheen, who's the star, and Christy Swanson, who's the other star, driving away from me and Josh Mostel, the two crazy cops who are chasing, it looks like O.J. Simpson and that white SUV.
Does.
I mean, it really does. Where years later during the O.J. thing, what's that, 96 or whatever, you're looking at it wait a minute, whoa. Anyway, many, many years ago, Adam Rifkin, great guy, great director, just interesting, funny guy. He came to my manager. I'm kind of remembering this. I think he came to management with this script and said, I like Henry to be this funny, ridiculous cop. Showed me the script. I said, I'd love to do this. And so he went to his bosses at Fox, who was ever doing the movie, and they went, no, we need an audition. We don't think he can do it. Dumb rock and roll guy. We don't believe it.
Had you done any other movies before this?
I did a UCLA student film called No, Not One that shot all summer of 1988, 88, 89. We killed ourselves for that film. We shot some of it only a few blocks from where we're sitting right now. And the guy never put it together. And the acting was good. And it was a student film, so we did everything wrong.
That was the only thing you did before the chase?
Uh-huh.
So how did he come up with the idea to choose you?
I think he thought it was ironic for a guy who had so much to say about cops to actually play one.
Oh.
So anyway, he says, hey, let's get Henry in this thing. And so I fly to Houston where they're in pre-production. They're going to shoot it there. They get my measurements, I guess, from management, and they put me in a full police uniform that fits, kind of snug. And I got some muscles and thick neck, and in a uniform with a rubber gun that looks way too real. I look pretty intense. I mean, if you look at photos like the promo photos for that movie, I kind of pass for cop. I got that bullet head neck thing.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm in wardrobe. I am in a costume. Adam is waiting for me in the lobby. I change up in my room, amazed at how well it all fits, because it doesn't look like wardrobe. It looks like I'm showing up to go on shift as a cop. I'll never forget this as long as I live. I walked out of the elevator into the lobby and looked out at everyone in the lobby. Everyone looks down. I go cop, I'm not making eye contact. I'm like, wow. And I immediately didn't dig it because it was this power, but people were kind of afraid. And I'm giving people a look, you looking at me? And the cop, and everyone's like, no, I am not. We walk outside, and my audition is going to be, we're going to go in the parking lot of the Houston Omni, and I'm just going to run around and improvise and just be wacky.
Were you nervous?
No, because Adam's funny, and we're making a comedy. So
how'd you meet Adam?
Through management.
Oh, so you didn't know him before this?
No, and it's a friendship that endures to this day. He's a great guy, and he thinks differently. He's just amazing, and he believed in me. So I was a fan already. Someone cared, and I'd give him anything. So we go out into the parking lot, and cars are pulling up to drop off and pick up. You see every car hood dip as people put the brakes on because the cop has walked outside, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm probably going too fast." Everyone reacted. I'd look at the bellhop guys. They all kind of, oh, good morning. I'm like, whoa, this is, because I'm used to getting recognized and all of that. But this was some kind of a different kind of notoriety. I can't say I liked it because everyone had a little look of fear. Anyway, we get out into the parking lot and he goes, okay, just improv. I said, well, there's not much to know about me. I'm just a standard issue street soldier. And I'm just talking like this, like Sterling Hayden in Dr. Strangelove. I'm being ridiculous. And then he said, okay, now let's move around, do some action shots. And I get a far way away from Adam. And this is going to sound misogynist, but have you ever heard of Run like a girl, where you put your, like, woo, okay. But women run like any athlete can run. But I was doing like I can't run, but in a cop uniform with a billy club flailing around. I mean, you look ridiculous. And then I start affecting all these feminine poses. Like, yoo-hoo, police are here. Just doing all this stuff for the camera. Like, but in a uniform with my dark hair and thick neck, basically, quote, going against character. It looks utterly ridiculous. And so he asked me all these other questions. So what would you do if you saw, if you were pursuing someone through traffic? Well, I'd make sure there was no nuns in a bus going down the highway before I would pursue. Children are always a concern because they are the future. Yeah, just all this ridiculous stuff off the brochure. And it was funny. And in the cop outfit, I did look convincing. And as a kind of dumb cop in caricature, it was not bad. So he made some kind of edit, showed it to Fox or the people making the movie, and they went, whoa, we had no idea he could do that. Hire him. So I'm in, and all of a sudden I'm going to be in an independent movie, like $3 million budget, $5 million, $5 million. And the reason they got the money was because Charlie Sheen was in it. And Charlie and Adam were friends. Adam has the idea. He calls his buddy Charlie. Charlie has a moment off. Those are in the days he was chain smoking films, one film after another. Like Major League, he's rehearsing for Major League 2 in the evenings when he's not shooting The Chase. Anyway, because Charlie is like the $1 billion green light box office guy. He's good looking, Charlie Sheen. Good, got a great face, great cheekbones, great jawline, and the dude can act. I never saw him once when we were shooting ever drop a line. Every take, one after another, he never dropped a line once. Like a machine. Total pro. Consummate professional on set. Anyway, I get the part in this small movie. I get out to Texas. I got to tell my bandmates, hey, I'm going away for a while. And they're like, good luck, Hollywood boy. And so I set up residence in the Omni in Houston. And I'm a cop chasing Charlie Sheen, who is a good guy but who's been accused of something. Anyway, and the love interest is Christy Swanson, fine actress, really nice gal. And so basically, they're the star of the show. We're the two wacky cops in chase. So it's kind of the four of us with wacky people coming in. Anyway, the cops, a reality show team is making a reality show about the cops. They're shooting an episode of Cops, basically. So we have these two wacky filmmaker guys in the back of our cop car. And so we're like out of control. And so we're driving around, me and Josh Mostel, son of Zero Mostel. And Josh is a great comedian. He's in movies all the time. And so he's my partner, kind of big, funny looking guy. And we're driving around. We are wired for sound with lavaliers. There's a walkie-talkie between us. We can talk to the director. So between takes, we're driving around to keep ourselves cool because it's like baking hot. We're on an abandoned bit of highway that's under construction that we've licensed. And so the reflection's coming off the pavement, so we're just baking in this car. And we're driving around to keep ourselves cool. And we're goofing around. And the director walkie-talkies us. He said, you know what? What you guys are saying, kind of bantering back and forth, you're funnier than my script, which I don't necessarily think is true. But he said, you're funnier than my script. Forget the script. You guys just do whatever you want. So if you ever watch The Chase, and I would recommend it, it's kind of fun. All of the lines you hear me say are improvs. All of me and Josh, we were improving, just winging it. And so shooting commences, and we're doing all these high-speed chases. And so at one point, we need to go through traffic. There needs to be a cop car chasing Charlie Sheen's car through traffic. We do, and this is a story I don't know if I've ever told on stage. This is super duper illegal. To do that, everyone in every car you're going to be driving around needs to be either a stunt driver or someone that has been cast. You need basically professional drivers in a controlled environment. You cannot have a chase scene with real drivers going home from work as your extras, which is exactly what we did. So Charlie Sheen's stunt double and stunt driver is a guy named, I think, Charlie Braun, Braun, who is this guy, looks like Charlie, but can take a fall, take a punch. He's a stunt guy and a pro driver. he gets in the car Charlie's character is in, and with a stunt woman maybe, and me and my guys, camera crew and back, 2 actors, me and Josh, we go into Houston traffic and like drive down to like the exit 110 and then come back, and we'll film both ways. Put the lit cherry on, and my cop car says like Newport Beach. Okay, so it looks like it's black and white with the lights on, but if you look at the car, we're not real. Tell that to someone who all of a sudden sees a stunt driver like in a red BMW hitting his emergency brakes so the tires lock up and screech. He's driving like a pro. He's making it look terrifying. I am having to pursue with 3 other people in the car, in a normal car. I have never stunt driven. I'm a guy who drives a car in a city. I drive like a golf cart. I drive to the studio. I drive to the grocery store.
Were you nervous?
No, you just get in the car and do it. I mean, like you're just thinking crazy. Like the director said, do this, and like how illegal is this? We would have this could have.
They could shut down production.
Oh, are you kidding? That would be the easy part. But what if we hit someone? I mean, could we have caused an accident? Are you kidding? It's amazing we didn't, because we are literally, because I have to follow Charlie's guy, the stunt guy, who's making it difficult. We're not doing this at like 50 miles an hour. We are ripping like 70 some miles an hour through rush hour traffic. I mean, this is
insane.
It was insanity on a stick. And so I am high on adrenaline and, hey, let's not die today. So we go down, it feels like an hour, but it's probably like, 4 or 5 minutes of your life each way, which when you're driving like this, that's like 10 minutes of what could have been a really bad accident. I mean, I kind of hate telling you this because it was illegal. And besides the fact that, so what if it's illegal? It was just stupid. I mean, the fact that you could have hurt someone, to this day, I hate what I did. But we were young and dumb. I knew better, but I took instruction. I just did it. You just do it. And Adam, he's really funny. Like so, how was the footage? That's how he talks. And the footage was whatever cameras were on our car, and we just did it like one way and one way back. And we got out of the car. We're all just trembling from adrenaline. We were so pumped up. Like, you don't have to sleep for a week.
Did you guys have people honking at you and
honking, getting
screaming?
Out of our way, pulling. No, they're like getting out of the way. Like, oh my God, this guy in the red car must be a villain. Get out of the way. It's the cops. It's a chase. And like people are watching. People are like pulling over to the into the rail to get out of our way. I mean, it was full on. It's like when you see a chase on, you've driven in California, you've gotten out of the way of a cop car.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Several times.
Yeah, but we were making a low budget movie and we didn't have the permits.
Oh,
and we couldn't afford the length of highway you need. That would have been the whole budget. Anyway, not every day was that exciting, but we had drama on the set. We had many, many characters. And so this is great. At one point, Adam says, Hey, Henry, Can you get a Flea and Anthony the Chili Peppers? And they were great. They were hysterical. We need 2 guys to act dumb, and because they're being interviewed about this. I saw these cars, and so anyway, he wants Anthony and Flea to be in it because they can act. They're large characters, and so I called Flea, and I said, hey, here's what. They'll treat you like gods. Nice hotel, 2 days of work. You can work it out with them, but I'm sure they'll pay you fine. I mean, it's all win-win. And the Chili Peppers are extraordinarily busy people. And they went, yeah, we're in, but they happen to be home, which is rare for them. And they showed up like a day later. And they were amazing and utterly ridiculous. And so at one point, this is the best, me and Anthony are hanging out at the Omni Houston pool. We had an afternoon off, or like we were going to work that evening or something. I forget. But it's just me and Anthony sitting, and I'm in like surf trunks. We're, swimming pool. And he's in a pair of Calvin Klein underwear. Like that's his swimming shorts, or like just his underwear. I mean, like, it's funny. And we're sitting there talking, and Air France uses the Omni as their hub. Like the air flight people get off and they sleep at the hotel and they go back to Houston Airport. Like the hotel I stay at in DC, all the United people, they always stay there. I'll see the people I flew with at the hotel quite often. Anyway, Air France has these astonishingly beautiful air flight attendants. Like these women it looks like Elle magazine has opened for the bikini issue. These extraordinarily, ridiculously beautiful women in bikinis are at the pool. They get up and start walking towards us. They're not walking towards us, Heidi May. They're walking towards Anthony. Because he's Anthony of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The guy's a bona fide rock star. You can't argue. And they, hello, Anthony. And Anthony's a very charitable guy. Hi, lady. He's like ultra polite. Hi, this is my friend Henry. And they all look at me. So anyway, Anthony, what is your room number? And how many of us would you like to come sashay up to your room?
Really?
They're all just like basically jumping in his lap. And these women were like, you start crying how beautiful they are. And it's like, I'm not even in the room. And he tried. This is my friend Henry. And they're like, anyway, Anthony, it was funny. They wanted nothing to do with me.
Did you try?
No, I just kind of went, wow, I am so not here. It was funny. If you can't laugh at it, like get a different job. And you'd have to ask Anthony what happened later, but it was a great moment. And so they were amazing in the film. And I think we had big crew dinner because the Chili Peppers were in town, and all the waiters call their friends. And by the time dinner's over, half of the local universities waiting outside the Mexican restaurant for Flea and Anthony. And actually, Anthony got caught by everyone. Flea and I snuck out behind these bushes and kind of walked around him and watched Anthony like have to hack his way through the human undergrowth to get back to the car. We're both like, whew. I go, is it like that for you guys all the time? He went, yep, that's how we're living. And that's true. That's how it is for them. Anyway, Charlie Sheen was living like 3 lives at once.
Was Charlie?
Charlie was doing the Charlie.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes. And
winning.
He was winning. He was winning every day and every night. And so by day, he's on the set, acting. And, super courteous. I mean, I can't say.
I know you've always said nice things about him.
I can't say I know the guy.
No, but you've always said that you liked working with him.
Well, he was always very friendly to me, super respectful, knew all about what I was doing with music and all of that. And every morning, Henry, how are you? I said, hey, Charlie, good to see you, man. I watched him act in a ton of scenes. I never once saw him drop a line or a word or be less than completely cool, courteous leading man to everyone on the set, from catering guy to the director. He was just super friendly. I mean, that's all I saw. So I can't give him any bad marks. So anyway, he's doing the film, but he's also rehearsing or preparing for Major League 2, that baseball thing he did. So by day, he's acting with us. And as soon as it's evening and you're done, the sun has killed you. By sundown, you've been in like 110 degrees all day. All you want to do is crawl into bed and die. So I'm going to the gym every evening, just trying to stay awake. Charlie has to go to some baseball field and play ball and get himself in shape, because he's going to go right from the chase to a baseball film, and he has to be in baseball shape. So he's getting his throws and his catches and all that together. So he's got a team of guys who work out with him, keep him awake. Like, Charlie, hey, come on, let's go. And they get them all, his people, his guys. Or as our director, or the assistant director said, a bunch of gun-carrying monosyllabic men who carry guns with monosyllabic names like Pat. And they're just like these scary guys who hang around with Charlie. Like, some guy looks at Charlie funny. Hey, Charlie, that guy looked at you. Want me to go over and take care of him? I'm like, no, Pat, sit down. And like, hey, is this guy okay? His name is Henry. He's in the film. All right, you can walk. I mean, these guys were, they're tough guys.
So let me ask you this. After he did the movie, filmed during the day, baseball at night, would he go to clubs after that?
Okay, so I'm telling you, the guy lives 3 lives. Okay. By day, he's doing the chase. As the sun goes down, he's doing 2 or 3 hours of hard workout. But he likes to have his fun. And I'm not talking out of class. I mean, Believe me, everyone in the hotel knew what was going on. Everyone in Houston knew what was going on. So he goes to the clubs. And as they say, as my 10th grade Spanish teacher used to say, wine, women, and song. I mean, the guy is just, he's enjoying himself until about 3 or 4 in the morning. We're up at 6 and 7 on set. So I'd be at like 6 a.m. I'm waiting for the crew van to come and get me. I don't have my own ride. I'm riding with the crew. And I always talk to the doorman. I'm like, hey, how are you guys doing today? And they're always nice to me. And they said, we're fine. Mr. Sheen just came in like a few hours ago. His friends kind of helped him in. And I said, he's got like a 6:45 lobby call. They said, well, he walked by us around 3:30. Okay. And like at 6:45, Charlie would walk right by. Morning, Henry. And you're like, morning, vampire Uber
He's
man.
got a good constitution.
Well, just like, how do you do it?
Exactly.
And he'd be a little pale, but he'd show up, go right into makeup, put his outfit on, do his courteous good morning, everyone, and then go hit his lines like a machine. And I didn't understand how he was doing it. And so at one point, we had a craft services guy, bearded guy with a ponytail. His name was Marshall, I think. Nicest guy. Like, he just one of those, like, hey man, I got you your favorite apple juice. He's just a real sweetheart. We had finished filming for the day. He's wrapping up the craft services wagon. One of Charlie's terrifying guys walks over and goes like, hey, give me a thing or whatever. He's like, well, I'm sorry, sir. And this is Marshall. He's so polite. Everything's closed down, but if you give me a minute, I can make you something. Or like, he was just he's being professional. And the guy, Marshall said something, whatever it was, the guy didn't want to hear. Like, I'm sorry, the juju, the juju bees have gone, or like the jelly beans are all wrapped up. And he grabs Marshall, the craft services guy, and starts like thrashing him like a rag doll. And everyone's like, whoa, what are you doing? You're going to kill the guy. And this guy is like, like, I'll kick you, all this stuff. And everyone kind of went, Charlie, like, what's your guy's problem? And it got to Adam, the director, of course. Like, it's because Marshall's like, what did I do? I'm so sorry. And then the guy is like, really not a harmful person. And so Charlie sent that guy home.
Good.
And then we had the really famous Hell's Angel, the president of the New York chapter of the Hell's Angel.
What's his name?
He's famous.
Yeah, he is.
And he's charismatic, good actor.
Good looking, too.
Really good looking. He looks like a movie star.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been in a bunch of stuff. Like, he's been on, like, I think he was in Sex and the City. He was driving Jessica Parker around on a motorcycle. I'm forgetting his name. He's on Howard Stern a lot.
Yeah.
And he's obviously no one to mess with. But you're friendly to me and nice to everyone on the set. But huge charisma. He's large. He just has just amazing. But as soon as he came onto the set, suddenly, he and Charlie, are you kidding? They're just, thick as thieves to the end. Because they probably have a lot of similar interests as When the Sun Goes Down. But all of a sudden, our set has strippers everywhere and beautiful women everywhere hanging around because of that, the Hell's Angel fellow.
Did you feel like you went to heaven?
Me? No, I got work to do. I'm in my cop outfit. And none of them want to meet me. It's all about Charlie and the biker guy and Charlie's guys. This is kind of this posse of ridiculously beautiful women and scary men who will, kick your ass if you don't get the peanuts out fast enough or something. Anyway, I spent about 4 weeks shooting that film, working all kinds of crazy hours. And everyone was nice to me. And it kind of spoiled me. Because my first thing being in a movie, like in a meaningful way, like you are on this set every day. I was on that set every day. Working. And it was fun. But it spoiled me. Because films are rarely that much fun. Where hey, do your own lines. Are you kidding? Directors don't let you do your own lines. And if the writer of this thing is on the set, or if the writer is the director, sometimes with some writers, if you get a comma wrong, they'll go, you know what, that's a period. You read it like a comma. Start again. You're like, got it, no problem. But this was so loose and so crazy. Like, hey, go make a fake chase scene in real traffic. Like, you
I
lunatics.
love that.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm having to do all this stunt driving. Like, I'm pursuing Charlie down like a dirt road. I got to patch out and do all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I guess I can do it. And I didn't get any of us killed. Anyway, it kind of ruined me for movies for a little bit because it was so much fun and so loose by comparison to, I think the next film I was in was Heat, which is cool. Michael Mann, I can't fault him. I'm just saying everything was so much more get back to one and action. And, it was just like boom, 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 where everything on the chase was like, hey, man, show up and be a crazy person.
Did Charlie ever ask you to go out with him after work?
No, never. Charlie never.
I wonder why.
I don't think he found me interesting in that way. He was always super pleasant.
Or he saw that you weren't interested.
I don't know. But he was always cool to me. He knew about that I did music and everything. And we would talk between takes every now and then. There's one scene where I have to handcuff him. So I have to handcuff him and take the cuffs off. And you can't cuff someone many times before it starts hurting because you have to kind of smack the wrist with the cuff to make the thing go around and the teeth to bite in. And a couple of times I hit his wrist pretty hard with the cuffs. And he said, at one point he said, hey, can you ease up? I'm like, whoa, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's okay. But it's kind of, and I'm like, I got it. I'm sorry. But he was really cool to me. And Christy had, I guess, some kind of thing with Charlie where at some point she didn't want to rehearse lines with him anymore. So she'd run her lines with me. And so I would get the script and she'd come to my trailer and I'd run her lines with Charlie. Maybe he didn't want to run lines. I don't know. But she goes, hey, would you run lines with me? I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I ended up hanging out with her pretty often because I would do scenes, get her rehearsed up for her. Maybe Charlie doesn't like, some actors don't like rehearsing. They just like to come in and do it. But she'd ask me to run her lines with her and I would do that. And she was 150% nice.
Did you go to the premiere?
I'm not aware there was one. I cannot honestly.
Was there a rap party?
If there was, I don't remember. It's like 20 some years ago. I do remember getting a video of it and showing it to a girl that I used to go out with off and on for years. And she was in town visiting. I said, hey, you want to see some of this movie I just did? It was like 1995 or 6. She came by and we watched a few moments of the chase, but I seen it all the way through, like once for sure, and then maybe twice, and then I've watched moments of it, and then I bought the DVD for like $1.99. Like they couldn't give them away on Amazon.com. And I've never watched the DVD. I just like to have one of everything I've done just so I can kind of keep track of it. And so that sits in the record room unopened. I've never opened it.
After the chase, did you get a lot of calls for casting?
I did. And what kept me from doing more was I was on tour. Mm-hmm. The Wait album was being recorded, and then the Wait album came out, which is like a whole year on the road. But meanwhile, yeah.
Was there anything you passed up that you can think of?
At one point, I think earlier in 91, 92, Catherine Bigelow, who did Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30, she did Point Break. She wanted me to be in Point Break, and I was on tour. And she got Anthony Kiedis to do the part instead, but she came to me first. And I think Anthony would be way better at it.
Did you hate saying no, though?
I couldn't have said yes. We were so deep in on tour. I mean, that tour was heavy. And I was in a pretty bad place at the time. So it was better for me just to have a stage to go to and be able to be angry every night and shake, rattle, and roll. But a lot of offers came in. And the first moment I was clear to do something, I think, was Heat. And I said, yeah. And I ended up doing all those scenes with Al Pacino and work with Michael Mann. But that's a story for another day, because again, lots of stories.
Wrap up the chase.
Okay. It really busted me out as an actor because I got to be explosively actory, action going over the top in a character role. I think in acting, they call it acting in the grotesque, where you're just like way over the top. Like,
That's so fun.
Oh, super fun. And it helps you lose your inhibitions as an actor. Also, while it was loose and crazy, it was also a film. I mean, you are making a film. And so there were beats to hit, marks to hit. Not easy. And I learned a lot. It was like freshman year at college for me. Like, here's how you kind of sort of do this. And it really gave me a lot of affection for acting. Like, damn, I want to do more of this. And it made me go into auditions, not with exactly confidence, but with a true desire to get the part. Where I would go and go like, I really want this. I'm going to audition my ass off. I really, really, really want to be here. And want to is such a huge part of everything I've done. Because as you know, I come from the minimum wage working world. And I've said that a gajillion times because it's true. And I never want anyone to think that I think I'm anything. I'm no one from nowhere. I come from parking cars, tearing movie theater tickets, etc. Good work. Into all of this other stuff. So I'm just kind of winging it. And I just lead with my curiosity and my want to. And that's been my steam. And I just let it take me. And so once you get an actor bug, once you work with good actors and you get into scenes where everyone's on the same page and you're really doing it, you never want to stop. It's an amazing thing.
Cool.
And I think at this time, a sound that you will come to love in the years upcoming. Oh, no. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Heidi's headline. Henry tries to relax on his flight home, but instead... ... he gets attacked by a giant, greasy, and very aggressive ponytail. Yes, we're in seats 25A and B. Heidi was in A, I was in B. Sitting in 24B was a nice lady, probably at South by Southwest, with a long ponytail, which she flung from the back of her head outwards, and it lands on the headrest, over the headrest, into my face. And I'm sure she's a nice lady. If you're listening now, lady, don't do that again. But if I lean forward, and she tilts her seat back. So if I lean forward, 2 inches, I have my face full of this woman's hair.
Dirty hair.
It is obviously dirty, which looks good after a few days. I got it. But I don't want to smell your products. And ew. And Heidi is very, tell her. And the poor guy ahead of us, he tipped his seat back and she slams the butt of her hand into the seat. And she said, no.
That's not what happened.
Yes,
that's not what happened.
The guy moved his seat back.
But he was a large man.
Yes.
And he hit my bad knee. So that was my instant reaction.
Yes, but you went,
and
no.
he apologized.
And he went, oh, I'm
he was
sorry.
very nice.
I'm
but
sorry.
the giant
the three bottles of Jack
three bottles of Jack
he
Daniels
ordered
was
helped.
a little much.
I put him out.
But I look up, Henry looks at me, he's like, ponytail.
Ew.
And so then the next thing I know, you have your phone out.
Yes.
And you're snapping photos.
And we should post one. You've seen them. They came out pretty good.
Snapped several photos, and he wanted to reach over and show her.
Yeah. When we landed, I wanted to stand up as you're getting your stuff from overhead. I want to go, hey. Or I would hope that she would talk to me. Hey, aren't you the guy who used to be painted red in a rock video 150 years ago? And I wanted to go hey, and just show her the photo. I just took this for the memories, of American Flight 1172 from Austin to LAX. Happy South by Southwest. And ew. And eventually she took her massive hair and slung it elsewhere.
Oh, it was so great. It was just in your face.
But that's like flying in an economy. You better have fun. And flying with Heidi is fun until she finds out that you have not loaded all 50 episodes of Lucy onto your iPad like you did 4 years ago when you were flying. Like, how come you still don't have them on there? You really think I'm going to have them on there? Yes. And she doesn't like what I watch on my iPad.
It's all death
History,
and murder.
death, murder.
History, I don't mind. Death and murder, no.
And so now it's time for that sound that Heidi just loves. Yay! Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
I'm going to start playing that when you get up in the
Like, what are you supposed to do with a lady in her hair like that? Excuse me, your hair's in my face. I didn't know what to do.
I wish we could have scissors on the plane and cut it off.
That'd be hilarious.
And then she'd have a little nub.
Yeah, just you hand it back to her. Like, here you are, madam. Here's the wild animal that jumped over my seat. I was scared, and so I killed it.